So, all right, good morning to Todd and Erin Morning Stream on GetBarDaily.com. Oh my gosh, if it only could happen, if it only could be true.
What's that?
Oh man, Jeff Bezos, is he Amazon?
Yeah, he's Amazon.com.
He owns all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, let's all root for him today.
Are we
Matter of fact,
talking about him in a minute?
we can say, yeah.
Okay.
I hope
also,
this is going to work out.
All the summer reading programs along the Wasatch Front, your complete guide to splash pads, and Kim Jung Un's new romper. It's a new fashion statement, which is troubling.
And a breakthrough in cancer.
Let's go to the Morning Mountain Cam. This is brought to you by Black Diamond. This is pretty cool. Black Diamond experts, electric plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Look how soothing it is out there. Look how pastoral. Look how delightful.
All right, let's go back to Jeff. I'm really concerned about him.
Really?
Bezos, he owns Amazon. He owns a bunch of different stuff. He's bought Whole Foods.
They're buying Whole Foods.
And I want us to collectively, maybe even pray for him, because he's only $5 billion away from being the richest man in the world.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally rooting for Jeff, yeah.
I hope he does it. You know, Bill Gates, look out. Here he comes. If only it could happen. $5 billion away.
Good luck to you.
Oh, and some other sad news.
What?
Our drone crashed.
What happened?
They were filming. They're filming something that Bill was doing in the garden. Bill gardening show or whatever.
Bill likes his gardening a lot.
Evidently, the drone got a little too close to a fence and ate up some propellers.
Oh.
So, hang on one second.
I liked our drone. It was so adorable.
Do we have a propeller fund? Or should we start a GoFund-Us? Do you think?
GoFund would be good.
We're starting a GoFundMe for our drone propellers. Seriously?
Yeah. All right, so this could be used as
Are
evidence.
Are you kidding me?
This could be used as evidence. These are the props. I think it's about $70 for all four, full package. Yeah, because it won't fly when it's all busted up like that. And the fence survived, and no fences were harmed in the filming of the segment with
You know
Bill.
what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to put that on the epic compilation of drone fails. There's one where they have it up on this, like literally on the delicate arch down in southern Utah, and it's going to be this big swoopy thing, and it went down like a chunk of dirt. It was awesome. You know we have to have the death.
We're gonna get the death rattle. We'll have it tomorrow. Because we showed.
It's epic.
If you've ever gone and done this, you go to drone fails on YouTube. And
I live for that stuff. I'm sorry. I live for it.
Cruising along and you see this huge brick chimney on the left. And then all of a sudden it goes right in the center. And then
You're just waiting for it to happen. You know it's going to happen.
And the finale is when a bird comes up and comes in talon first, like that. Hilarious. Because that's the way I would fly a drone.
Because we're mean-spirited, so we're easily entertained. But yeah, it's good.
I'd buy like a $1,500 drone. And I'd get there and I'd get the strap around my neck, the controls, and there it is. And I'd go into a park and I'd just go. It'd be the fastest $1,500 in the world.
Could we once again remind everybody that the first drone you got with all the adorable little propellers got stuck in my hair like a rabid bat, and we had to cut it out?
It could have been worse. It could have been a bigger drone.
Yeah, I guess that's.
And by the way, our guy is trained. He is licensed and he's stuff like that. So he's a drone for good and not bad. Just a little temporary.
It's just a grounded drone right now, so it doesn't really matter what kind of recommendations he might have.
So everyone's fine, and I think that's the important thing.
Oh, good. Now,
right.
do you want to talk about the mountain rescue here?
We're up in the mountains.
Because I thought it was lovely.
Over the weekend.
Camping with the kids.
Let's just take a look. Poor guy. He got stuck. And here he is. Now watch that tree in the center, because back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh, that's a bad thing right there. Back and forth,
Lots
back
of big
forth,
stones.
back and forth. See, here's the problem. Is it slid down the hillside a little bit, and the tree got between the trailer and the truck.
To a point where it was not going anywhere. I think we tried unhitching the trailer.
We unhitched it. We did all that stuff, and it was just...
Yeah.
And you notice his wife walks around with her hands folded in front of her, her arms folded, which is never a good sign.
Hey, she was very sporting about the whole thing.
So we worked on this. We did everything, and this is my friend's property. And so finally, there was only one thing to do. So I grabbed the axe and played Paul Bunyan.
And then halfway through is where we were trying to go, that's going to land somewhere because it's really
all
tall.
the kids were, there you go. Ta-da.
We
High
just were
fives.
hoping it wouldn't land on our car or the trailer, so that was good.
And that's the way we solved it.
Right?
We tried
Pretty
everything.
nice, baby.
We tried everything else. But it's a pioneer species because it's a pine. It will regrow, and everyone will be happy. No, not that tree, but other trees will do.
Okay.
So what is
good.
this?
This is creep.
There's a creep, and this is a warning. It's
Oh,
still
no,
going on.
This is a massive creeper thing, and this is something that police always worry about, but it's not something they have a ton of control over. And this is a huge thing. There was a casting call for a local film, and apparently the guy was like, oh yeah, I work with Disney all the time, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking for girls to play a pop star diva ages like 15 to 18. So he was doing this on Facebook, so one of the girls went, oh, okay. And she called him, 16 years old, and she said that she was interested. They started what he called a kind of, like the interview, and I'm like, on the phone? Because usually with a casting call, you go in and you set a headshot. And
Right.
Yeah, and so apparently, according to the mom, the conversation was pretty innocent, but then he knew something was wrong when he asked her about her fetishes. Yeah, at 16, that's a bad start.
There's always a tip-off when they start asking questions like that. Now, this guy's still out there?
The man explained that the role required her to share with him her fetishes.
Ew.
What?
Ew, 16,
And the more
ew.
at first I thought it was a little weird, but I went along with it, said the juvenile, because, she's 16 years old and she wants to be a movie star. And so it got creepier and creepier, so she was like gesturing to her mom on the phone, and her mom finally just hung her up. So her mom went on Facebook saying, look, this just happened to my daughter, and this is really creepy, and I'm really concerned about it. And she said she almost instantly had 16 other responses going, the precise same thing just happened to my daughter.
And
thank
goodness the mom was there.
Now the mom definitely instantly filed a report with the South Jordan police. They said that's the right thing to do. If it gets weird, you got to contact us immediately. But this guy is still out there, and the people have said they've already seen Facebook posts from him under different names still. So once again, watch what your kids are doing. Number two, with casting calls, nobody interviews you on the phone. It's just not like that. You go to well-designated areas where you present a headshot and a resume, and they talk to you. Anyone who's talking to you on the phone, especially when you're underage and it's a male and it's alone, no, they don't do that.
Maybe in the future, you want to plan your future by going to college and doing a career as opposed to trying to be a movie star.
Everybody wants to be a movie star when you're a teenager, and that's okay. It's just you don't get into those conversations. So anyway, just be aware that it's still going on. This is what's happening on Facebook, and so you want to be aware for your kids.
Evidently, evidently everything's on fire, and Daisy's going to tell us about that.
Literally, I mean, it's the saddest thing ever. Okay, Daisy's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. It is brought to you, of course, by Robert J. DeBry. Robert J. DeBry has offices in Salt Lake City, Sandy, and St. George. You can get help by going to robertdebry.com. By Executive Transportation, where our lovely friend March will take you out one of his sweet Escalades. Just go to executiveutah.com to book your drive. And All Utah Plumbing. All Utah Plumbing is available 24 hours a day. Just go to allutahplumbing.com. Daisy, what's on fire? Apparently everything.
Hello everyone, here's what's making headlines today on GephardtDaily.com. Hundreds of Utahns remain displaced thanks to a wildfire outside Bryan Head. The human-sparked blaze had burned close to 1,000 acres as of Sunday, but crews did make progress overnight in setting up fire lines. One home and 3 structures have burned thus far. There are 115 firefighters working to put the fire out. Flames were leaping in the Salt Lake neighborhood Sunday night after a shed fire caused propane tanks to explode behind a home at 418 East Milton Avenue. The fire spread from the shed to a nearby mobile home and then finally to a house next door. One of the exploding propane tanks landed in a yard 500 feet away. Firefighters knocked down the flames in about 30 minutes. There were no reports of injuries. And now to another mobile home fire that had neighbors in Murray grabbing their hoses this weekend. This was the scene behind the hair company salon at 3625 South, 929 East, where a camper went up in flames. The fire was burned so hot it was threatening nearby homes, so Jennifer Woods took matters into her own hands and began dousing the flames herself. Firefighters arrived moments later and knocked the fire down. And now a look at the official summer's eve forecast, where temperatures along the Wasatch Front will be finally flirting with the 100-degree mark. Time to strip to the waist and buy a big umbrella drink. That's it for now. More headlines 24/7 on GebhardtDaily.com.
Thank you, Daisy. All right, Black Diamond Experts. They do electrical, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. You know what? Call in an expert if you're going to get something done. Number one, they have 24-hour emergency service, which is a really nice thing when something's exploding in your house, particularly the sewer line. Upfront pricing. Now, the nice thing about this, there's no surprises. They'll tell you what it's going to cost, and then there's, no special editions at the end. Satisfaction's guaranteed. They already have top customer reviews. You can see them on their website. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and the nice thing about them is they also have financing available. So if you've got a big project coming up, they can work with you on what to do and how to put all the financing together. And then you can just relax knowing that this is going to be done correctly, that there's not going to be any nasty financial surprises. And if you take a look once again at the website, you're going to see that everybody kind of likes these guys. So once again, it's Black Diamond Experts. You will be glad you called an expert.
All right, I'm not sure if I want to do this story or not.
What do you mean?
Because it's going to bring up something that we've had conversations with. And okay, so Phoenix is under an extreme heat warning.
That always sounds so awkward to me. And they say it with so much gravitas, like it's an extreme heat warning.
112.
If it's going to be bad, shouldn't you just say everything's on freaking fire? I mean, seriously.
112 in Phoenix.
I used to live in Phoenix. I remember this.
All right, so tell them your story.
What do you mean my story?
About the airport.
No, there was one summer where it was so exceptionally horrible that it was 120 degrees for like 5 days in a row. And I was a poor college student, so I basically was lying on the bathroom tile talking to one of my friends on the phone because you couldn't even move. And the tarmac melted at Sky Harbor Airport. It was I think it was day 4, and they couldn't stabilize it, so they had to divert all the flights. So you know that things are bad when the airport melts. And that's Phoenix.
This is where the fight begins.
What are you talking about?
Well, in Phoenix, had its hottest day in record is 122 degrees on June 28th in 1990.
Yeah.
Airlines grounded all flights out of Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. Many people blamed soft, melty asphalt on the runway. That's a urban legend.
I was there. I lived there.
I will say this. Here it is. The real reason they closed the airport is because of the hot air is less dense. Remember the helicopter guy we knew? And
yeah, it's harder to fly.
He would not fly during hot weather, really hot weather,
yeah.
because he couldn't get enough lift. Same things happens with jets. And turbulence, because as the sun heats different things at different grades, and so you get this air and it becomes dangerous. But it mostly is because they don't have enough lift to get off the runway.
Okay, that's nice, but it wasn't 1990. It was much later when I was there. But I just know that it was 4 days in a row of 120 degrees, and they closed the airport for a day.
Do you know some
Maybe the lift thing was part of it, but my understanding was it was the tarmac.
Lifting?
Well, I know, but you're getting it's the lifting, with the
Do you know some people actually live in Phoenix without air conditioning?
There's no possible way. There's they have coolers in the swimming pools there.
I've said this before. If you live in a place that when the electricity goes off, you die, that's like living on Mars. And you shouldn't live there. And who's the brainchild who actually founded the city? It's like, this must be the place to die.
This is the hottest place in the world. Let's put a city here.
If you ever lived in a place like this, basically you go from your house You run to your car, you're already sweating, air conditioning. And then from there, you go to work, and then you get out of your car, sweating again now, and going to the air-conditioned building, and you don't go outside.
Oh, I had to run at 11 o'clock at night. It was the only time that was just cool enough that you could survive. I mean, it was amazing there. And yeah, let's not even talk about the patch of skin I left on my car seat before I remembered you're supposed to use a white sheet because...
Vinyl?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know how that impacts resale, but yeah, it's a little something to me left behind on the Mazda Miata.
So we are going to be in a hot deal. St. George is going to be 110. Salt Lake City
112.
through Wednesday. It's going to be extremely hot. So if you don't have super air conditioning, go find a friend or get a new girlfriend.
Somebody else who does.
Right.
Exactly. All right, are you ready for a Tell Me Something Good?
I am.
Because I love this one. Okay, I totally understand wanting uniformity in dress when you're going for a graduation. It's a special time. There's a certain pomp and circumstance. We already know that. But there was a high school graduation from MacArthur High School where they had stated you have to be wearing dress pants. Well, Leroy Solis Jr. didn't have any dress pants. He couldn't afford them. Financially, it just wasn't feasibility. So he showed
Serious?
up. He showed up in his clean jeans, and he tried to look as good as he could.
Right.
But his school representative said, "You're not going to cross the stage if you're wearing jeans." And he said, "Look, I'm sorry, we're on a fixed income. I can't afford it." So he dashed outside, and he was trying to look around. He was trying to figure out what to do. He had 3 minutes to line up. We came across a young guy, his height and size, and my brother explained that he needed slacks to walk the stage. Without any hesitation, the stranger said, "Oh yeah, go!" And so they went and changed in the guy's truck. He gave Leroy his slacks. He put on his jeans just, for the night so that they could get
Right.
through. And he got to go across the stage and collect his diploma with all of the other kids. So, I mean,
Which is a great story.
I love the picture of him and his dad, and you can see his pride in his father, and you can see how important it was to both of them that they cross. I mean, this was a huge thing because he was the first person in his immediate family who actually graduated from high school.
Oh my gosh.
And the principal was going to go, "You can't cross
Okay, so
the
first of all,
stage."
douche canoe. Listen, this guy stopped a kid from graduating because he was wearing jeans. And
Well,
school year is over. You don't even have the power
Well,
to be the principal.
I'm sure, and I'm sure that
What
I understand that maybe they have people who are like, "Oh, I'm just going to wear it because I'm cool." I get it. But this kid, it was
No,
obvious
no,
he didn't
no.
have it. And here's the sweetest thing about it. The stranger gave him a really expensive pair of slacks.
Right.
And they never saw him again. And he's been like, "I've been trying to find this guy so I could say thank you
funny
and tell
for
him
his
what it meant to
pants.
me." And
Was that really the principal?
I'm going to think that maybe it was just the rush of
Really?
everything, and maybe he was distracted and not
I'm going to
thinking.
think he wasn't hugged enough as a child,
But for-
and then he became a real moron.
But for Leroy, I just love the fact that this guy said, "Take my slacks." I mean, because you've got to admit, that is a really random
Except some
request.
people are uncomfortable with the word slacks.
Okay, take my dress pants. I mean, that's a pretty amazing thing. It is.
No, it is, and that's a really good story, and it made me feel good. So, but that principal, really?
Why don't we focus on the happy things here?
Food.
Let's not focus on the negativity. Let's
do
focus
food.
on. Is there food involved here?
Yeah, I think so, isn't there?
Oh, we're talking about the big thank you from Christopher's. Christopher's Prime Steakhouse and Executive Transportation kicked in with us because
so hungry.
we wanted to tell you how much we appreciated the fact that you guys have left radio and came over to podcasting with us. And we were really surprised because it's like 4 times the listeners. So we were really, really shocked. And so we wanted to say thank you. And the best way is to send you and 3 friends out to Christopher's. Have a wonderful night. And you don't have to worry about a designated driver because we have executive transportation there to pick you up and then drop you back off again. All you have to do is go to one of our 3 Facebook pages. That would be the Todd and Erin Facebook page, Gephardt Approved Facebook page, or the Gephardt Daily Facebook page. Just comment on the show today, like the page, share, and you're automatically entered. It's just that simple. And we draw another winner on Friday.
So thank you. Back to the principal. First of
Stop!
all, I had teachers like that. Mr. Robidoux, that was his name. Mr. Robidoux had a terrible gas problem, first of all. His face is always red as well, and he had this bad habit of coming up behind you and giving you the Spock grip really hard, and then you're like, and then you'd be, ow! And Mr. Robidoux was a jerk as well.
I don't think they get to manhandle kids like that anymore, for which I'm grateful.
And we had another teacher who used to slap people up the back of the head, like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, I wouldn't allow that as a mom.
Now, that'd be a little different now, wouldn't it?
Well, I wouldn't have allowed it back then either.
All
I'm
right.
not gonna whack my kid.
Coming up,
Yes.
and this is they have made a major breakthrough with cancer. Again, this is last week we had about prostate cancer, and this is about another type of cancer. But it is a major breakthrough, and we'll tell you about it coming up next.
Todd and Erin's Morning Stream, brought to you by Black Diamond Experts. Electric, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. You'll be glad you called an expert. The law offices of Robert J. DeBry and Associates, with offices in Salt Lake City, Sandy City, and St. George. Check them out at robertdebry.com. The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is actually available anytime at gephardtdaily.com. Just click on the Todd and Erin page.
It's so funny when you push me away, like that happens ever. Never. Over the weekend, we had the Blues Festival.
That was amazing, and we had talked to the founder last week because it was like so random, like we're like the whitest state in the nation.
The third year running.
And we have a fantastic one, and it was cool because Richard, our photographer, caught up with Samantha Fish. She was the headliner. Kansas City, Missouri, first time in Salt Lake City. And I really love her. She was promoting her new CD, Chills and Fever. And when they were talking to her at the Gallivan Center, she was talking about how she got her start and really how hard it is for women in the business. And, that can basically spread over a lot of the entertainment industry. But I kind of loved her. Here she is.
Chills and fever, chills and fever, chills and fever, what you give to me. Well, I started playing music when I was 13. My mom sang in church, my father played guitar, his friends all played, my uncles all played guitar, so music always was around when I was a kid. As far as early influences go, I was really heavy into classic rock radio. I just whatever was on the radio. Some days it was, the country station or the pop station. I remember seeing Stevie Ray Vaughan and wanting to play like that, but I didn't see women playing like that. So there was like a little bit of a block for a while. There was this little thing in my head that was like, oh no, girls don't play like that. You just got to challenge what do you think, society will accept. To be honest, there's more men than women in the, in a lot of like positions of power and, in the workforce and everything. I've had that question a lot. Is it harder for a girl in the music industry? I think it's harder in general to go to work as a female. I think just challenge what you think society will accept and just, do what's in your heart, play, pick up an instrument, you can do it. It's sort of a whirlwind. I was telling the audience we were just in Colorado last week, so we're Mountain Standard Time, and then we got to East Coast time, back into Central Standard, back into East Coast, back into Mountain, and we were in West Coast today. It can be kind of a whirlwind, sometimes sort of exhausting, but when I take stock of everything at the end of the day, it's pretty amazing the places we get to travel and all the countryside we get to see. The one you can't tie down, one who needs you now, baby, why can't I get you now? It was great. It was my first time playing in Utah. And, I've driven through Salt Lake City so many times on my way from Colorado to California. And, I've always thought it was a beautiful town. Couldn't wait to play. And, the people were great. The audience was really awesome. And, we had fun.
I love her so much.
Leopard pants, you have to.
Number 1, those leopard pants are to die for. Number 2, she's wailing her own guitar. Number 3, she rocked that. That was amazing.
Speaking of amazing, you know the big trend this year? Men rompers. Explain a romper for us.
We've talked about this. Rompers, that's what we wore when we were little girls. Remember that ladies, we wore, it was like the one-piece little suit, usually strapping, then it had shorts with it.
Attached shorts.
And there's,
attached.
yeah, it's all one piece. And Zoe wears them, they're super adorable.
And now they come out for
They've got
men.
adult girls ones.
Yeah. And the adult ones, they have all these butch-looking guys trying to make it look tough because they're wearing a romper.
And it's like, you're not carrying this one off, pal.
I finally found a romper I might wear. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It comes from the best Korea, which is North Korea.
You're kidding me. Oh my
Kim
good
Jung
Lord.
Un.
No. The leader of North Korea, Kim Jung Un, is on a romper.
Oh, I think it's funny his mouth's right over his crotch, too.
Oh, that is so wrong. In the best possible way.
And it's $79.
You know what? I will spring for that for you because that is worth it to know that you would be wearing Kim Jong Un on your romper.
You know what would happen, and somebody should do this. Somebody should put an advertisement on their romper, right? And then just walk around town. Because do you know how many people would take pictures and post that on Facebook, and then you get free advertising for
Well, of course.
Black Diamond Electric, right
Because
there.
you're wearing a romper,
And it would
most
go
people would want to
all
take a picture.
around the world. Because if you were the guy, and if you had a man bun, the combo.
It would be beautiful. I just want to know in what little CD like designing studio they went. You know what we need to do? We need male rompers and a complete photograph of North Korea leader Kim Jong Un on the entire romper. I want to know who even thought of that because that's epic. Or a head injury. I'm not sure which, but it's epic.
Gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it is. Okay, now this I've been dying to hear about all
right.
morning long because breast cancer runs in my family. You know that.
Okay, this has
and
to
this
do
is
with...
such a great story.
First of all, the thing that always bothers me, and I'm online, doing social media or whatever, is you always come across those ads. You've seen it where they're boiling lemons, right? And that's going to cure your diabetes. Now, if I had diabetes and I saw someone throwing crap like that up online and saying this will cure it, how angry would I be? And you see other things about, this will cure arthritis. No, it won't.
People have a desperation to find something.
Orally taken and stick them in your ears and you'll be cured. I don't know if I had some of these situations and we're suffering from this, I think it makes me mad seeing it and I don't have it.
Now, people are desperate for a cure, and if they can't find it through medicine, there are things that can help them through other means, but you're right that when you're getting into a full-scale thing where it's a multi-level marketing company and they're saying we're going to cure your cancer, that's pretty sleazy.
And it's the cure the government doesn't want you to know about. But here is something actually that is pretty cool.
Okay.
Did you know, and this comes from Johns Hopkins, okay, so do you know that 90% of cancers, the tumors, are not the thing that kills you?
Explain.
It's 90% of the tumors that you have aren't actually the thing that kills people with cancer.
Okay.
It's when it breaks off and then goes into other parts of the body.
Oh, when it metastasizes, yeah.
Right. And so they've been working on this and they're saying, if we can keep that cluster together, and then we can target it with chemo, we can target it with...
Oh, that's a good point, because when it spreads, then it's harder to chase everything down again.
You hear about breast cancer and you hear about lymph nodes and traveling through the body, and all of a sudden it starts going everywhere and it's through the... Anyway, so they found, and here's the cool part, it's a cocktail they make, and it's with 2 different drugs, and I know right away you're thinking that really slow this down a huge amount, which is great. Both of the drugs are already FDA approved. They already exist.
This is so cool.
So I'm sure Huntsman's up on this here in Utah.
But it was the same thing with the prostate cancer, that it was the combination of the drugs and the fact that they had gone through different things and they were trying the combo, putting it all together. But I love that.
Of things that already existed. I think that's cool.
Because you're right, it's the metastasis that makes it so incredibly deadly. How cool! This
I know,
is good news.
Right? And I think the fact that, it's not boiling lemons in a pot of water, but it's actually real medicine. So I just thought that was pretty cool.
And especially with families and patients, you know this as well as I do. It's every single 10th of a percentage point. You know, if this improves your chances of survival by
Right.
like 0.001, that's all you hang on to. So to have these kind of numbers where it's that strong, that's a huge thing.
A real thing. That's really cool.
That makes me so happy.
I miss your big hair.
I have big hair today.
No. You
My
had
hair isn't big?
No. Over the weekend, you had that big hair.
Oh, that's because I was talking to the Steel Magnolia girls, and Carissa, who plays...
From the show.
Yeah, she plays Truvy in Steel Magnolias, and she said, I'm going to give you a Shelby, dude. And I was like, this is epic, are you kidding? So we went over to my friends at Salon Envy, and they said, yeah, take the entire top floor. And so I was dying to talk to the girls because it's such an amazing play. It's out at the Centerpoint Legacy Theater. And so this is kind of how it went.
Oh, you're all so nice. Oh, well, we enjoy being nice to each other. There's not much else to do in this town.
How epic is this that I actually get to play with you guys in a real salon and you're doing my hair?
It's fun.
I haven't had it ratted like this since the 80s. I can't even tell you how excited I am. Now, this is the first part that kills me. You literally have to do this scene just like this on stage
Just
every
like
night.
this. As we're saying lines, as we're doing everything.
How do you
It's fun.
keep your concentration with that?
A lot of rehearsal.
A lot of practice.
And you just have to be listening. Like I constantly have to be like, yep, but I'm still engaged in the conversation. I know what's happening. And
See, that's an enormous amount of attention. I don't think I'm capable of that. I'm a little ADD as it is, so you must be like razor sharp all the time.
I'm not. It's been really hard. Just a lot of practice.
It presents like a couple of unique challenges because we have to do hair without actually seeing the front.
That's a trick, yeah.
But I think it provides a really cool thing where the audience kind of acts as the mirror. So sometimes, you know, we can pull them in by having an expression or you know, trying to react towards the audience without breaking that fourth wall.
I think we had a couple really hard rehearsals where people's emotions were high and you know, everybody really wants to do a good job. They care about these characters, and so people get passionate and emotional, and I think seeing a couple people break down a little bit, I think was really bonding. We kind of were just like, hey, but we're in this together and we want to tell these women's stories, and the biggest thing is that we love each other. These women love each other and we need to love each other.
I can think of like a couple times where like a few mistakes were made in rehearsal, where a line was dropped or something, and you know, we had an emotional moment, and it really was like, okay, well, you know, we're here, we're being vulnerable with each other, and that's what this whole show is about, is having like a space that you can feel comfortable being vulnerable, and as women, and that will support you and help you, and I think that's what it was that really brought us together, I think.
Okay, so this is a good question. If you're not your character, who are you really? What character are you actually really in real life?
Ooh. You know, I wouldn't have said this 3 months ago, but I kind of identify with Anel. My whole objective for her is she just is seeking acceptance from everyone around her, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to be accepted. And I just identify that. I think we all do, right? We all just want to be accepted.
I know, it's gonna sound crazy, but I think I identify the most with Truvy. I know, I don't know that I would say that either. I think you grow to love your character too, which is maybe why, but she's so heartbroken. She is so craving intimacy and love, and she's not getting it from her children or her husband, and these women give that to her, and she's lonely, and I think, again, that's another theme people can relate to, that, you know, people being lonely and heartbroken and just wanting to feel loved and, you know, have some kind of intimacy that you can share your secrets and feel accepted, which is kind of the point of the whole show, right? Steel Magnolia is that life is hard and these women go through a lot, but in the end, they're strong women, and they're strong because they're together. They love each other and they, you know, build each other up, I think.
I'm so excited to take Zoe to this because I really want to see that connection with women, that it's not catfighting and that it's not, you know, that it's really that connection and that strength. Where do they get tickets?
They can get them online at cptutah.org, or they can call the box office and reserve them over the phone.
All right, Centerpoint Legacy Theater, this is in Layton, right?
Centerville.
I know there's a difference between Layton and Layton.
Small difference.
Okay, once again, website?
cptutah.org.
Okay, and this is running through the 1st of July.
July
So you
1st.
don't have a lot of time.
No.
All right, you guys, you've been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. It was fun. So fun to do your hair.
Okay,
like,
I'm so in love with those girls.
I liked your hair.
Seriously. I mean, Katie and Carissa, they were just so unbelievably charming.
That night when Erin went to take her hair down, and I kid you not, 35 bobby pins.
It was epic.
It was just like, oh, geez.
I know. It was. I didn't want to take it down. I think we went for a hike, and I still had the big dew going up, and people are staring at me. I'm like, I can't take it down. I love it too much.
It might have been the gown, but anyway.
Well, let's not be fussy here. The important thing is this. If you'd like to win tickets to see the play, we happen to have a pair. We'd be happy to give these away. They're for next Monday, so you have a little bit of time to plan. Just comment on the show today. Just say, I'd like to win the tickets to see Steel Magnolias. That's really all you need to do to enter. Then we will contact a winner by tomorrow morning, and you are on your way.
Do not forget that the temperature for the next 3 days is going to be like right up there to 100 degrees. And,
like death.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people want to know where can they cool off, and Erin's got all the information that's coming up next.
We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. And also by Columbus Travel. If you go to columbusvacations.com, you can sign up for a weekly newsletter that always has great last-minute deals on hotels, airfare, cruises, and more. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com? Okay, so there's two different things that we have to do in order to keep your children from actually melting into a puddle of protoplasm.
Before you do that, how did you guys cool off?
We always just the stuff like the sprinklers in the backyard,
A hose.
we had
A hose.
and we had a membership to one of, I think it was the Deseret Gym. Do you guys remember that one that was by Temple Square and they tore it down to build the new big center?
Right.
Yeah, we had a membership there, so we'd go swimming a lot. But I don't think we had air conditioning. I'm almost positive we didn't.
This is the new trend, and it's been going on for about 15 years now. It's kind of like everything is funner with a bounce house, right? Like, I'm going to have one at my funeral.
Face painting.
I'm going to have face painting at my funeral and a bounce house. And that pretty much guarantees a big turnout. Splash pads, let's see. This is the place. Red Butte Gardens. This is some of the stranger places.
I was actually very proud of I was trying to figure out how they were going to pull this off. And this is the place, like, how are you going to make a splash pad historical?
Right.
So they kind of put some stuff by it. And I think that was nice.
There's
I
a
felt good
wagon
about it.
wheel.
Yeah,
A wagon wheel over there. Splash pad here.
Well, I just like it because you're not like marinating in other people's sweat and their sunscreen if you're going into a full-scale pool and you don't have to keep it.
You're not selling this for me.
No,
really.
and you're not staring at your children waiting for them to drown. So splash pads are like that nice thing that's like this. It's like that nice crossover. So
Yeah, the worst they can do is like flap around like a salmon on a boat deck.
if you want to go to GephardtDaily.com today, you can find it on the Todd and Erin page. We have a complete list from Weber County all the way down to Utah County of all the splash pads along the Wasatch Front. A couple of them are free. Most of them are really low cost. And so it's a nice place to make sure that your children don't actually, die because of the heat. And there's also another one that's really nice, the summer reading programs. Now, I haven't really talked about those yet. And that's kind of a big deal to me because there's like some really wild ones like Pizza Hut and Chuck E. Cheese's have reading programs where the kids can win free food by
Wait a
reading.
minute, what?
Barnes and Noble, you follow through the reading unless you get a strut in and you get to pick up a brand new book from them. Pottery Barn Kids has reading hours where you can also earn your points in order to get a book. But I like the city and county libraries the best because they always have these different activities. They do themes. And one of the nice things is they have adult reading programs as well as kids. Because I was thinking about this with Zozo. I always assumed that if we had 1,000 books and I read to her that she would love reading as much as I did.
Right.
And it's a beating sometimes. And part of it is that do they see you read? And I read almost everything online now, so it's a lot harder for her to see me with a book in my hand. So this gives you a chance where you can both kind of go through the program together, and you're checking off your list, and she's checking off hers. And it's a really nice way to like combine it together and be part of the experience with each other. And it helps a lot because they talk about the summer gap all the time where your children have become slack-jawed troglodytes by fall because
They actually say
didn't
that
study.
The kids get less intelligent.
Slack-jawed troglodytes.
Um,
So anyway, you can find that complete list on GephardtDaily.com as well. Gives you all the locations, all the information. But
I don't.
It's nice. Plus, once again, the libraries are air conditioned.
Liberty Park has got a splash pad too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they didn't see coming is the Gateway when they put in their splash pad.
Wow. Yeah.
And people just showed up like they're going to the beach.
Oh yeah, they had beach chairs. They brought towels. They settled in, stayed for the day.
I'm not sure that's what they had in mind, but what a perfect place to go.
Well, I don't think they can complain because people are still seeing all the merchants around them, and they're getting stuff from the food carts,
Right.
and you know.
Now they're going out of business. I'm being too
Do you
critical
want to take
today.
that back? You're cranky today.
All right,
We're
sorry.
not going out of business.
Maybe I need.
What's wrong with you?
They're being taken over by another company, and they're thinking about making the whole thing a club district where dancing and stuff and cool
That's
restaurants.
already happened.
Yeah, but now they're going to fill up all the empty stores.
I know.
With more.
I love the idea of the entertainment district, though. Every major city has like an
Right.
entertainment district. There's 3 or 4 like street stretch where you can go bar hopping or like restaurants and stuff. And
Right.
we have never really had anything that was like sort of like clustered like that.
So that'll be
I think
cool.
it's a good idea.
All right, you know what we need is some entertainment news.
Well, isn't that lucky that we have Daisy?
Look at that.
She's got all the box office and stuff. This one's going to shock you. It's brought to you by Robert J. DeBry. Robert J. DeBry has offices in Salt Lake City, St. George, and in Sandy. You can contact them for help at robertdebry.com. Also by Executive Transportation. Check out our friend March. He will take you anywhere you like by calling him at executiveutah.com. And by Black Diamond Electric Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. You'll be glad you called in an expert. Daisy, what's going on today?
Hello again, Todd and Erin. So now I really want to see Steel Magnolias after that piece. It looks amazing. Here's a look at your Tinseltown headlines. Actor Stephen Furst, best known for his role as Flounder in the comedy classic Animal House, has died at the age of 63. Family members say complications from diabetes were the cause. Furst rose to fame playing freshman fraternity hopeful Kent Dorfman in what is considered by many to be the granddaddy of all coming-of-age college comedies. Furst played opposite John Belushi in the landmark role, which was the Saturday Night Live actor's very first film appearance. Furst repeated his role as Dorfman in the ABC spin-off Delta House. He went on to critically acclaimed roles in TV and elsewhere and in Babylon 5. First sons are urging people not to be sad at their father's passing and ask people to take the time to try and make someone laugh really hard in their dad's memory. Music superstar Beyonce has given birth to twins, the second and third children she's had with rapper Jay-Z. Sources say Bey and Jay are thrilled and have started sharing the news with their family and closest friends. The 2 bundles of joy were delivered late last week, but the news wasn't confirmed until Sunday in People magazine. And the animated film Cars 3 is the #1 movie in North America, earning $53.5 million this weekend. Coming in at number 2 is Wonder Woman with $40.8 million, followed by All Eyes on Me at number 3 with $27.1 million. The Mummy with Tom Cruise is at number 4 with $13.9 million, and 47 Meters Down was at number 5 with a take of $11.5 million. Those are the headlines from Tinseltown overnight. More news 24/7 on gebhardtdaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
I still can't believe that they would remake The Mummy because Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, you can't beat that. But number 2, rumor has it only made, like I said, it didn't even make $14 million its
Right.
first weekend of the box office. That's a very bad sign.
That's because they made 4 movies about it.
It cost over $200 million to make this one, and the word is that Tom Cruise, and they had like Russell Crowe in it. They had some big names. The
Right.
word is that he had the advance notice that it was going to flop, and he refused to do any of the interviews. So they had to send out all the younger like co-stars to do all the interviews. If you watch it, like for instance on Xfinity, no sign of him. They'll be like, Tom Cruise, he's great to work with, and he refused to do any of the advance press because he was going to flop.
4 movies about a mummy. What didn't we know about the mummy?
Well,
we
she
knew
was-
everything about
She was
the
a
mummy.
girl mummy this time. She was very pretty.
4 movies about mummies.
Anyway, I just thought that was
Do
interesting.
you know how Flounder? That was kind of sad.
Oh, I know. I love him.
Do you know how he got that job? He was delivering pizzas, and he actually took his resume and his photo, and he put them on all the boxes.
That's evil genius.
6 weeks later, he auditioned. 6 weeks later,
Wow.
he got the gig. It's like, isn't that like the 1940s? Gee, Sam, what are you gonna do?
I think that's epic. Good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked.
Anyway.
All right, tell me this story because you know what it means to me.
Oh, Erin, brace
You know
yourself.
what this means?
Brace yourself. All right.
Tell me.
Louis His name is Louis. Louis is 132 years old.
That's a well-lived creature.
That is. What kind of creature lives that? A tortoise, maybe. A tortoise, right?
Joshua tree. Well, they're not
I'm
creatures.
talking
though.
animals. Yeah.
How do they know it's 132?
I know they cut it in half and counted the rings. Probably not.
All right, explain.
Louis is a lobster.
He is a massive lobster. He is a 22-pound lobster. This is like my Mount Everest. I could climb Louis with a pot of melted butter and conquer him.
So, as part
One
of...
bite at a time.
Okay, calm down. As part of the National Lobster Month, the 22-pound, 132-year-old lobster was set free in an undisclosed location, which is a good move.
Because they know me.
And Erin wasn't on the boat, because if she was, picture a pirate. Picture, instead of a knife, a stick of butter, and her jumping off the sails into the water, chasing Louis.
Okay, now I have a question about this.
He was in a lobster tank in a restaurant
For 20 years.
So for 20 years, what he watched was all his friends being eaten.
So this is one PTSD based lobster.
Oh.
See, this is my question though, because every time they have these beautiful moments, where set them free back into the wild and blah blah blah, and they've done it with gigantic bunnies and all this other stuff.
Gigantic bunnies?
No, they don't. You remember the gigantic bunny they sent back? But every time this stuff happens, the creature instantly dies, out of shock or whatever, or they get eaten because they're totally not used to being back in the wild. And I'm just thinking, if this poor guy was stuck in a tank for 20 years, really, you're checking him back in the water. Really? He's like, oh yeah, I'll totally just get started all over again. I don't think that's going to happen.
So is this your justification for going and getting Louis and eating him?
I just want to save him the suffering. It's because I'm like that.
It's easier for lobsters to survive because all they do is sit on the bottom and eat dead things. That's it.
It doesn't matter. There's still nuance to it, and I just don't feel like Louis has it
Oh,
anymore.
well, what about romance?
Did you know that lobsters have complicated mating rituals? That's one of the reasons I had to give up seafood when I became a vegetarian. It was incredibly depressing to find that out. I'm not a vegetarian anymore, though, so that's all right.
132-year-old lobster for 20 years. Dry spell. He was in a tank by himself, watching his friends get
I
eaten.
hope he remembers all the complicated
Bye, Bob.
mating rituals.
Bob, it's not a jacuzzi.
Poor little thing. All right, I have some good news, and this makes me happy because, of course, here on the Todd and Erin Morning stream, Facebook Live is a big deal for us. It helps us enormously, and this is how we reach the vast majority of our
That's
audience.
how we found a bunch of friends, new friends, and people we knew in high school and stuff.
Which we love you so much for. And this is pretty cool. There's a progressive new move that was just announced by Facebook last week, and this involves video content that's now made available to over 360 million people worldwide. And
What makes it different?
Well, here's the deal. Facebook Live videos can now feature closed captioning for the deaf and the hard of hearing. Now, 30 million live here in America alone, and they would be watching a video going, I'd love to know more about what's happening, but there's no closed captioning, I don't know.
Right.
And so they were really kind of denied some of the opportunity to have the video content and be part of the experience. Because Facebook Live is such an omnipresent part of our lives now.
Right.
And so I thought that was absolutely amazing. So they said today's milestone represents the next step in our efforts to make content on Facebook accessible to more people. So I just think that's really cool.
That is very cool.
And so that's something that I'm hoping that we can insert really quickly so that we can be part of this experience because, it should be. This is the joy of the internet, that it's accessible to everybody. It's there for everyone. And for a lot of people, for instance, and I think you remember a couple of our listeners that we went to visit, who are maybe homebound or wheelchair bound, or they don't get a chance to get out into the world very much.
Right.
This was their entrance into the world. They made friends and they got to talk to people and they made connections. And so I can't imagine a more important and more
really
proper
cool.
thing.
And it makes you part of the hip crowd.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's doing it, so
One of the cool kids.
Everyone should be included. Which
so
is
you
really
should be
great.
suckered into the peer pressure too, just like everybody else,
and watch
right?
40-minute live videos of people you don't want to see saying boring things. Wait a minute,
What
that's
is
what we
wrong
do.
with you
That's
today?
what we do.
You are so pissy.
Am I?
Yes, what is wrong with you today?
It's Monday.
I'm negative. I don't want to do that because I'm negative, Todd. What? No, you've been snarky all morning.
Have I?
It's the whole mouth closing down. Well, I don't like that. That's really stupid. We should have cut down that tree. We should have just let those people suffer.
What is wrong you?
I evidently don't know. Maybe it's something in my coffee.
You're usually the optimist. I'm usually the cranky one.
Yeah, how's that feel?
No, it's just creepy. You're not allowed.
All right.
All right, now that it's summer, there are literally amazing free events going on every single day. So what we thought we'd do is every single day we would highlight something that was going on. So if your children who are really representing more like an unsightly stain on your couch at
Because
this
they
point,
just sit there.
I'm bored.
I'm bored.
There's things to do. So
Go outside and die from the heat.
Number one, Hatch Family Chocolates. If you've never been up there, they're on 8th Avenue in Salt Lake City. They are doing a free magic show tonight.
They're doing what?
Free magic show tonight. You're having chocolate. You're watching magic. It's epic. A lot of times they're also the ones that will be showing big movies on a screen outside of the building.
That's pretty cool. See, I'm not being cynical. That sounds really fun.
Don't patronize me. I know when you're patronizing.
You know, you just can't win.
And down at the Orem City Library, they're doing their free movie series, and this is on Mondays. And tonight they are playing the Muppets. It's the original one with the Muppet Fanatics.
And is this outside? Mm-hmm. So you bring the blanket, you bring the cooler, you bring the kids.
Yeah, I mean it's really no. It's the auditorium screen, the media
it's
auditorium
inside.
film screening.
It's inside, yeah.
So, but it's free. That one starts at 6:30 p.m. And you can find that information up on GephartDaily.com. So basically, our goal is to make sure that there's something you can do every single day that's not going to crush your pocketbook, but you're still getting out. You're doing fun things.
Okay, so we're going to have those every day?
Yes,
Kind
yes,
of a
we are.
reminder of what's going on.
Yes, we are.
We got to, for Father's Day, we went camping in the mountains, and we had a great time. I'm so proud of my daughter because she's 6, and she loves dirt.
She was coated in dirt.
Face was immediately covered with black ashes from the fire and stuff.
Zachy had his iPad, and he came out and looked at everyone, and then he went back in the trailer again.
He's a recluse these days.
Now, and what was this thing with the bones? What's wrong with the two of you? I mean, you're like freaks.
So, my little girl and I were taking a hike, right? And we came upon some bones, and they were bleached they're probably 2 years old or something. So immediately
They're
she
still
starts
bones.
She starts picking them up, and vertebrae and all this stuff. We went
Part of it
through
was like
it.
a pelvis and
we talked
scapula.
about all the different parts, and she wanted to put them all back together, which was fun. So we brought them back, and Erin was like disgusted with us.
Even Gil, our dog, was creeped out. He kept trying to dig
did.
holes and bury them.
He was
like,
trying to bury
you
the
guys weren't
bones.
watching. Like, this isn't right. This is unsightly.
So before we left, we took all the vertebrae because they have a circle in the middle, and we put them on branches all around the campsite.
So it looked like some sort of like creepy Indian burial ground, so nobody else would camp there. So it would be available to us next time we went there. And then I opened the door to get in the car, and Zoe had kindly spread bones all over my seat.
It's
Did
nature.
you encourage her to do that?
No.
You're such a jerk.
But anyway, we had a great time. The river, the water, the mountains. You've forgotten, haven't you, how dark and black the sky is? There was no moon. The Milky Way was there. Anyway, the sound of the river.
beautiful.
Can I tell them about the one thing about the river?
Yes, of course.
This is a really cool thing. A lot of people don't know this. And a friend of mine, she had about 3 of us back in Maine. And same kind of runoff going on now. And it happens all the time. River rocks don't get round because they are eroded by water. They get round because they tumble. And so you have to find a stretch of river that doesn't have too much white water, so it's quieter. And the water's still going at a big velocity. And she had all of us lay down and just close our eyes and listen. And we were like, we don't get it. You're drunk or something. We don't understand this. And she goes, listen. And she put her hands on our backs, and she was tapping us when she heard something. And we're like listening and listening. And all of a sudden we started hearing it. And it's the rumble of a boulder rolling down the river.
Oh, that's so cool.
But you have to find the right stretch of water. And all of a sudden now, every time I go to the river, there's small ones and there's bigger rocks and stuff. And that's how they get round. That's why they're river rocks. But you really have to listen and get in a quiet area, and then you can actually hear it. And listen to it all the time, and taught our little Zoe and Zach the same thing.
It was pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
Now, I have every single feeling of empathy because I think we've all been in that space where we're trying to get into a decent camping spot or whatever, and there's jagged rocks and there's massive dips, and your car's like, I'm gonna die, you're gonna high center me. And unfortunately, there was a group that wanted to kind of camp close to us, and as they were trying to make their way through, all HE double hockey sticks broke loose.
Yeah, this is like a boat ramp with a husband and wife, never good. And so
More to the right.
We-
The right. You're right.
And so we let him do it because I didn't want to take his manhood away. You know what I mean? Because he's got to do it himself. And anyway, I'll kind of explain some of this. But with the Todd and Erin Morning stream at GephartDaily.com, and here's the rescue.